Hi, this is Vanessa Joy with Breathe Your Passion on Adorama TV, and today we're going to talk about 3 things that you need to think about when posing couples: height, hips, and hands. This is Andy and Abigail. They're fellow New Jerseyans, so say hi. They're helping me out, and we're going to talk about 3 things that you want to think about when you are posing a bride and groom. So they're our bride and groom today. First thing I want to talk to you about is height. So Abigail, being a girl, wants to wear heels, right? We all love wearing our heels, but that makes her about the same height, a little bit shorter still, not too bad, as Andy. And most of the time women want to appear a little bit more dainty, while men want to appear a little bit more taller and masculine. So a little trick that I learned from Doug Gordon is to have you stand so that you are spreading your legs a little bit like this. It makes you a little bit shorter. Obviously, I won't be photographing her in a full length like this, but that will help out with the first thing we're going to talk about, which is height. So you guys can face each other. Perfect. You're going to open a little bit more, get nice and close. And the second thing we want to talk about, hips. So you guys are pretty good. Your hips are nice and close together, but if you photograph couples, you know that sometimes they do the 8th grade dance thing, right? So if you guys want to do that, pretend you don't know that. A lot of times we tell them to get nice and close, and then they do that, and then their hips aren't touching. So you want to make sure when you're posing to pay attention to where the hips are. If it's not a bride and groom, then their hips probably shouldn't be facing each other, but they can still be touching, just turned out a little bit. But you guys are a bride and groom. They are married, so we're going to have you guys step nice and close together, hips together, watching the height. And then finally, we want to talk about hands. Hands, as Sue Bryce says, are the fine tuning of photographers. And you can always tell an experienced photographer as opposed to an unexperienced photographer with how they pose the hands. When it comes to wedding photography, I always say hands should be anywhere on each other. It just shows connection, it shows warmth. So I like what you guys are doing. I'm going to change it just a little bit. Your hand, Abigail, is going to kind of come in right here. And the reason I'm doing that, if she holds her hand here, I just see the back of her hand, and that's going to make it look larger than it is. But if I go here, she's nice and kind of like cuddled in there, and I'm only showing the side of her hand, which is going to make it appear a little bit more dainty and a little bit more slender. I do love how you have your hands on her hips. That'd be a perfect option. But another thing I like to do with hands is to have you put your hands on her back kind of shoulder here. Again, that's pulling them closer. They're coming closer together. It creates a little bit more of a connection. And as this is not the case with Abigail, if you want to slim down a bride, you can kind of cover a little bit with hands, and that helps out too. So love this. Let's take a picture. So the first thing I want to do is get my exposure, which if you've seen me teach before, I do it in a little bit of a weird way. I turn on my live view and just get a basic exposure, looking at the live view and sort of eyeballing where I think the exposure should be. So right now I'm at 100 ISO, 250 on my shutter, and 2.5 on my aperture. I'm using a Canon 1DX. First model, not the second. I do want the second, with the 135 Canon 2.0 lens. So let's see how this looks. So you guys get nice and close together there. Love the nose to nose. Cute. Abigail, turn and look towards me. Love that. Kind of do eyes down off that way. Perfect. And Andy just knows. They're photographers. Love that. And then I can easily get some really cute close-ups of their hands since they look so nice and close. Perfect. And then both of you guys just go cheek to cheek and look at me. Nice. Now there's one thing I do want to fix, and it goes along the hips category here. Their hips are nice and close, but I kind of want them to not be all in the same static direction. So what I'll have you guys do, both of you just tilt your shoulders towards me a little bit more. There you go. Andy, you can come back a little bit this way, so you're still in towards her. And Abigail, almost like you're trying to look towards that building. There you go. Now get your heads nice and close together. That looks much, much better. Cute. And then go ahead, look at each other. Nice. Love it. And then just touch foreheads. They're so cute. Perfect. Awesome. So great. We've got some great usable shots looking at all those little details. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below to see more tips like this here with Breathe Your Passion on Adorama TV, and I will see you next time.